Hey there, how there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Dog welcoming you to yet another Cutter Top 10 sports video. And today we're taking a look at the top 10 boxers of all time. And basically some great pugilists, if you will. Boxing is not that easy and all that. You have to show grace, power of your punches, and you have to have an iron jaw, if you will. So these 10 were ranked the best, and it's not all heavyweights. There's guys who have been like in different divisions, all that. So one of the big things is Mike Tyson on this list? Somehow, no, he is not on this list. He did not make the list. Anyway, some other great fighters have it. Anyway, number 10 on the list is Floyd Mayweather Jr. He's known as Money. He's technically gifted. Despite the fact that he's 50-0, which is, I believe, the record for most wins without a loss in history. I know some boxers were had more than 50 wins and all that in a row, but then they lost. So he is 50-0. He built his success on his impenetrable defense, his ring IQ, and business acumen, and winning 5 world championships across 5 weight divisions. He would fight with Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, and Miguel Cotto, among others. He outclassed the elite opposition. And all that. Yes, he's known as a talker, and he has made some racist comments, especially towards Manny Pacquiao, but he's still pretty good, don't you think? And speaking of Pacquiao, he actually ranks number 9 on this list. I put him at number 9 because he has a speed, power, work ethic. Yes, he couldn't beat Floyd to save his life, if you will, within the sport. But he did win a world championship in 8 different divisions, which is like unreal and all that. So anyhow, 8 divisions and all that. So is the only octuple champion in the world. He is a flyweight champion for WBC, IBF Super Bantamweight, the Ring Magazine Featherweight, WBC Super Featherweight, the Ring Super Featherweight, WBC Lightweight, the Rings Light Welterweight Championship, the WBO Welterweight, the WBC Light Middleweight, and the WBA Super Middle Welterweight. So it's weird how he's an octuple champion, and then his weight goes up and down, up and down. Sometimes that's not good. Sometimes that is. But anyway, yeah, Manny Pacquiao is just an icon. Number 8 is Jack Johnson, the Galveston Giant, who was the first African American heavyweight champion between 1908 and 1915. He was iconic and all that. He was known for his defensive genius, strength, and unflappable confidence. Broke the opponents and the color barrier in pro wrestling. He beat Canadian Tommy Burns for the title, and it was great. Unfortunately, though, white America back in the 1900s was very racist. A lot of people think how racist America is nowadays, but boy howdy, it was way worse in the 1900s. Blacks were really second-class citizens. The fact of the matter is that Jack Johnson knew how to fight and all that, and he inspired like white panic and all that. Everyone tried to throw white champions at Jack Johnson trying to get rid of him, but they just couldn't. He had an flamboyant lifestyle that made him a controversial figure. People were waiting to get Jack Johnson in deep trouble, and they did. He was arrested for violating what they called the Mann Act, which was you can't transport women across state borders for immoral purposes and all that. And they think he did. It was his wife, but technically he didn't divorce his other wife. So logically, that was immoral. Remember, times were different over 100 years ago. But yeah, Jack Johnson was in deep trouble. He couldn't go to the States and all that, but they finally forgave him and all that. But his grave is unmarked on purpose because people would vandalize it. Such is life back then. I feel for the guy. Number 7 is Roberto Montoya. known as Manos di Pietra, aka Hands of Stone. Roberto was one of the most ferocious and skilled lightweight champions ever. Duran's career spanned over 100 fights in 4 weight classes, capturing championships in each. He had a massive rivalry with Sugar Ray Leonard, and that was the start of the rivalry was in 1980 in Montreal at Olympic Stadium when Duran outscored Sugar Ray, took the title, and unfortunately, the next fight they had was in New Orleans at the Superdome in the No Mas fight when Roberto Duran technically said no mas, saying no more, when Sugar Ray Leonard was getting his bouncing and all that. As was revealed that Duran took some weight loss stuff because he was full of himself when he won the championship and gained too much weight. He would fight Ken Buchanan, Esmeralda Jesus, and Aaron Barkley in the 80s and do quite well. So, yeah, he was pretty much skilled and all that. He was Sugar Ray Leonard's equal. And speaking of that guy, Sugar Ray Leonard, or as he was, well, Sugar Ray Leonard, and he was being played by Tommy Davidson on In Living Color. So, yeah, Sugar Ray was the face of boxing's welterweight golden age and a 5 division world champion, too. He had speed, intelligence, and heart. He was a fan favorite and formidable opponent. He would fight Roberto Duran hard with Thomas Hearns, Marvin Hagler, and Wilfred Benitez also helping him out. But he could adapt and win, and it was a testament to his greatness. He almost left boxing after his terrible loss to Duran in Montreal, but his wife convinced him not to do it. But yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard was pretty good. Number 5 on the list is Rocky Marciano, the only heavyweight champion to retire undefeated. He was 49-0 with 43 KOs. That's amazing. That's kind of a little bit better than Mike Tyson's knockout thing. But yeah, Tyson was, notwithstanding, Marciano was pretty good. He was known for his endurance, relentless attack, and thunderous punching power. Marciano had a lot of physical disadvantages against larger opponents. But you know what? Small is mighty sometimes. He would KO Joe Louis, Jersey Joe Wilcott, and Ezra the Old Mongoose Charles, among others, and proved why he was formidable as a heavyweight icon and all that. So yeah, Rocky Marciano did his job and all that. Yeah, to retire 49-0 is pretty impressive. Number 4 is Julio Cesar Chavez, a Mexican icon with over 100 wins. He had, 80 straight wins at one time, started his career in 3 division titles. Julio Cesar Chavez was bringing boxing back into form in the 80s and showing that Latino fighters could fight with the best of them, with America. He actually won a controversial decision against, who was it, in 1990? I would say Meldrick Taylor, but that can't be right. Well, he had a controversial fight in which his opponent in 1990 actually was winning the fight, but he forgot to answer to the referee's questions, and the referee thought he was knocked silly, and they knocked at Richard Steele stopped the fight. But yeah, Julio Cesar Chavez had a great thing and all that. He fought to a controversial tie with Oscar De La Hoya, and a lot of people said that he brought boxing to the forefront. His son Julio Jr. was a decent boxer himself. Number 3 is the Brown Bomber Joe Louis. Joe Louis was heavyweight champion for 11 years and defended his title 25 times. That's still a record to this day. Amazing how he could do it, be heavyweight champion for more than 5 years and all that. I know Tyson Fury and the Klitschko brothers should have been on this list, but no, it wasn't. But Joe Louis, 11 years, that's amazing. Louis's powerful jab, technical precision, and dignity helped him become an American hero, breaking racial barriers in a segregated era and practically making him more likable than Jack Johnson and more tolerant of black people. Anyway, Max Schmeling was the heavyweight champion in 1938, and then Joe Louis knocked him out and was a defining moment in sports history because it was a stand against Nazism and racism and all that. So that was just pure amazing. And then for the next 11 years, he was just the picture of health and boxing and all that. And people gracefully accepted him into society. Number 2 is Sugar Ray Robinson. Some say he was the greatest pound-for-pound fighter ever. He won 173 fights in his career with 108 knockouts, and he dominated the welterweight and middleweight divisions. His blend of speed, power, technical proficiency, and ring intelligence set the standard for future generations. He would fight Jake LaMotta, Raging Bull, of course, Carmen Basilio, and Gene Fulmer. And he influenced many champions after that. So it's just huge and all that. And at number one is Fight Like a Butterfly, Sting Like a Bee. I'm here for all to see. His name is Muhammad freaking Ali. No, no question, he was number one. Born Cassius Clay in Louisville, Kentucky, he was once a young thug, if you will, and then got turned into boxing by a police officer and never looked back. Cassius was huge, and he won the 1960 gold medal in Rome at the Olympics. Unfortunately, even though that he won a gold medal, it didn't help him in the racial tension of Kentucky and all that. And he actually threw his medal into the Kentucky River because he just couldn't handle it. Nevertheless, he went into Islam and became Muhammad Ali in 1964, and he had some great career highlights. He was a three-time heavyweight champion. He beat Sonny Liston in a few huge fights. The first one was in 1964 when he actually ended up beating Liston when Liston refused to come out for the 7th round. And then Ali beat Liston within 2 minutes in their rematch. And that was controversial because some say Sonny Liston took a dive. Anyway, Ali would fight Frazier in one of the biggest boxing trilogies of all time. In 1971, 1973, I like to say, and 1975. But yeah, Ali was huge and all that against Joe Frazier. You know, the Frill in Manila fight in New York City. I don't know. I can't remember the other location where they fought. But anyway, and he even beat George Foreman. It was a fantastic one. The Rumble in the Jungle in Zaire against George Foreman. Foreman was this formidable boxer who in the old days was kind of a thug and looked up to Sonny Liston, who was a massive criminal. But Ali transcended the sport and all that. He beat George Foreman in the 8th round in 1974, used Zaire against Foreman, and basically his poetic trash talk and unwavering political stances were huge. He had courage and conviction, and of course, none more questionable than when he refused to serve in the U.S. Army during Vietnam, saying, "I ain't no quarrel with the Viet Cong." So Ali risked a lot with his comments. I don't know what role he would have had in the U.S. Army. Maybe they were going to just give him a token job, but yeah, he refused, and he got stripped of a heavyweight belt and couldn't fight in the United States. So he had to fight a couple times in Canada and all that, which was amazing. So anyway, that's just huge. But yeah, Muhammad Ali basically didn't waver and all that. So that was it. Unfortunately, though, Ali's career will always be remembered as him having Parkinson's, like during his fighting career, and basically having a couple of terrible fights near the end that he should never have had in the first place. But yeah, Muhammad Ali was big and all that. He brought the world together, and who could beat that? No one can. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.